10 talented bakers compete for 90,000 rands in prizes, and you too can win big. Bake more memories with tried and trusted Royal Baking Powder. Previously on the Tastemaster SA, the top 10 contestants paired up in a battle to bake the ultimate chocolate creation. The stakes were high with a master pin to play for. Suhail and Kensani walked away with top honours. And the bottom 3 teams will have to fight for their spot in this week's Elimination Challenge.
I can definitely feel the tension in the air today.
It's an elimination challenge. The smallest thing can send someone home today.
Welcome to the beautiful Oevergouw estate in the heart of the Cape Winelands. Overlooking the Stellenbosch Mountains, this farm has been producing world-class wines for over 100 years. This will be the setting for today's Elimination Challenge.
As much as we'd all love to be enjoying the sunshine with a glass of wine, this is a competition. And at the end of today, one of you will be going home. Jason, this is your second Elimination Challenge. You ended the last one on a high. How do you feel about today?
I love nature, so I'm very excited about today's challenge, but I'm looking to end off on a high again.
Tando, you guys did so well in your last challenge as a team. It was so close for you guys. Tell me honestly, do you think you deserve to be at this Elimination Challenge?
I don't think I deserve to be in, but it isn't competition, so I understand the decision that was made.
Going into today's challenge, I'm feeling a bit nervous. We are in a different territory. I'm not seeing any kitchen. I am also very upset being in the elimination. I don't want to be here.
Today, you've stepped into my territory. For this challenge, you will be mastering the art of bread making, but more specifically, a South African classic, the roosterkoek.
Nice.
I do not know what a roosterkoek is.
Bread is not my strong point.
We're gonna make bread, but how? Because we're outside. Doesn't make sense to me, so I'm actually freaking out.
Today, we are going back to basics and exploring one of the fundamental elements when it comes to cooking. Because today, you will be baking on open fire.
Oh, you're fired.
Baking bread on an open fire, now I'm getting a bit worried.
I'm worried. I don't want to go home.
It's gonna be challenging.
Baking on open fire can be very tricky. You need to be able to manage your heat perfectly. Too hot and your bread will burn. Too cold and it could be underbaked.
But don't worry, we're not just throwing you into the fire for this challenge. To get you started, Fritz will be giving you a private masterclass to show you exactly what it takes to make the perfect roosterkoek.
Lekker.
Lekker.
That is so cool.
Are you ready?
Yes!
Come follow me.
Woo! I'm a little bit intimidated because I know Fritz, he is an outdoor kind of guy and he's gonna have high expectations for us today.
Welcome to my kitchen. Woo! As you know, we'll be focusing today on a South African classic, the roosterkoek. Your challenge today will incorporate accompaniment dishes of your choice. So I'm going to start with my meat and then we'll get stuck into the dough.
What are we drilling? Why are you picking up a drill?
Lord. What on earth is happening here? It's insane.
Yeah. I'll move. Okay. So I'm drilling a hole through the bone so that I can hang some wire through there and hang it next to the fire. Okay? Wat ek nodig het om te gebeur is dat daai vet in die vleis inkorporeer.
I love this method of cooking meat. I've seen it a lot in Argentinian food. It's raw, it's simple, and it brings so much flavor.
Now, let's get on to the dough. Firstly, I'll be dissolving my yeast. Not too much water. I specifically use fresh yeast if I'm in a rush. Next up, critical. And I brought some for you too. This is my poolish. Normally we ferment naturally with the sourdough starter. If it's the night before and I realize that I want to bake tomorrow morning, I still need that flavor, I need that extra volume. How do I do that? I do that with a poolish. Same amount of flour as water with just a small grain of yeast.
I've never worked with poolish in my life. I've never heard of it.
As you can see, no kneading, and it's built its own structure just from resting. This is a common misunderstanding about how to develop gluten. People think you need to beat it out of the dough. I say it'll do it itself.
I didn't know that the gluten structure can develop on its own. I'm used to working the gluten myself.
I specifically use South African farmed wheat flour, okay, milled with stones to maintain the integrity of the grain.
Fritz is looking relaxed, and that's making me quite uneasy because I don't know how much time we're gonna get, but I know that it's gonna be a tight one today.
I will add the water slowly to monitor my hydration levels.
Fritz, I noticed that you didn't add some sugar.
So I'm a bit of a purist, okay? I don't add sugar, I don't add anything that is not required to enhance the dish.
I always add a bit of oil and I add sugar because the yeast feeds on the sugar.
I'll be resting this dough for 20 to 30 minutes.
He's doing things differently than how I do things. And he's gonna be judging my bread, so I'm like, should I do it his way, should I do it my way?
I'll be making 2 variations of the roosterkoek today, a sweet option and a savory option. Jay, would you mind giving me a hand?
Of course.
Go, Jay.
Nice.
Lekker. Me cooking alongside Fritz, I couldn't ask for anything better.
So we'll be making the onion confit that will be pairing with our meat. It's going to be fatty, oily, juicy, and a flavor bomb. We're going to use a combination of leeks, red onion, white onion, spring onion. As you've seen, I put the thyme at the bottom, nice fat butter, a little bit of salt, lots of olive oil.
The confit he is making looks so delicious, and pairing with that meat, such a good combination.
Right now, the meat is enjoying a few licks of heat and the confit is simmering in its own juices. Now, the dough has rested long enough for me to do the first fold.
Wow.
Oh my word, that bread dough looks incredible. The bubbles in it, you can see why he is top of his game.
One part that I absolutely love about baking is that the dough is actually communicating with you. It's telling you exactly what's happening and what it needs and when.
You can see the bubbles, so you can see that the chemical reaction has just taken place and the yeast has, eaten its food. I don't know what it ate because there's no sugar in there.
I'm going to be starting with my sweet version now. Beautiful dried figs from the figgery. Cast the sugar. Add lemon rind. Open up that pod. I want this to turn into a jam, but I'm going to put it on a lighter heat to make sure it doesn't go too jammy. The dough is now rested completely.
Ow!
Jeez.
Yeah, no, it's insane. That's insane. He tips that dough out onto the bench and it just looks like a beautiful cloud.
Fritz, can I join you so that I can have a feel of the dough as well?
Yes, please, join me.
Thank you.
This is a proper bread dough, all right? You can feel those pockets. You can even see, just from the beautiful textures that you're finding up here, that we did everything absolutely perfectly. So feel this and go for that. Okay, you can get out my kitchen. Okay, I'll be portioning it differently for the 2 different dishes. I want to go for something bigger for that steak confit abundance. I'm going to go for something a little bit more delicate for my sweet option.
I'm really trying to concentrate on how he handles the dough. He's literally treating it like a little baby.
I'm used to using the bench to shape my bread, and he's using his hands just so that he keeps the air pockets inside.
Classic cream cheese ganache. Nice bit of cream. White chocolate.
Ooh, when he makes that ganache, it fed my soul. And he's cooking it in an open fire, so the heat is helping the chocolate melt quicker, and he's very quick on his feet.
Adding the cream cheese. Although not the easiest way, I wouldn't have it any other way than cooking outside.
Come on, Fritz. You can do it. Check those guns. There's steak, there's the fig jam. There's so many components, and he's managed to do this while we are standing in front of him.
Now to the important part. Ons gaan nou die roosterkoek braai.
Wow.
Right.
This is next level stuff, man. I'm just like mind blown.
So what you're seeing right there is that final rise. We call it oven spring, okay? And that's doing it now. The last living yeast sound is now going.
It looks like it's just come out of an oven. It's absolutely incredible how much rise he can get on an open flame.
Immediately, what was a good indicator is I saw smoke, which means that You can see what I'm going for. So the charriness is part of the magic. You'll also find your hot spots now on your bake, and that means that you can start moving them around accordingly.
Fritz is flipping his bread on the fire so fast. He even forgot about the tongs. I'm like, this man and his fingers, yo.
Lekker, guys. This is looking spot on. Nice and charred, nice and airy. Yep.
Baking bread on fire is very tricky, actually. So the way they came out, top notch.
For our sweet ones, we're gonna give it a quick fry.
I'm thinking, this man, when's a makuinya? Hi, bo.
Found it weird. It's like making a guinya.
It's beautiful, medium to rare. This goes into the bowl. Final bit of seasoning with some molten salt. So homemade chimichurri, flat leaf parsley, chilies, garlic, olive oil, lemon zest, just to lift this nice, beautiful.
Oh, now I just want to eat that steak.
Moment of truth. It smells amazing.
That aroma just fills the air. And we're outdoors, it's insane.
Okay, this looks amazing. It's deliciously soft.
I'm just like, can I eat this? Can I eat this? It looks so good. It smells so good.
The final steps for the sweet version of the roosterkoek. After frying it quickly, I'm going to open up a small hole in the center. I'm going to pipe in my fig jam, roll it in my lavender dust.
Lightly dipped in lavender dust. Oh, let's make it a little bit of fine dining.
Finally, some cream cheese ganache to finish it off. That's it, roosterkoek 2 ways. We have our steak, chimichurri on your onion confit, and we've got our sweet version, fig compote, cream cheese ganache, and lavender dusting. Come and enjoy.
You didn't think I was going to sit out this tasting, did you?
My favorite part, tasting time.
The roosterkoek, the texture of that alone just blows my mind.
When you bite into it, ooh.
Up next, with elimination on the cards, the heat is on as the Roosterkoek Challenge begins. Feeling inspired by Fritz's masterclass? Stand a chance of winning a Le Creuset baking hamper, plus go into the draw for the grand prize of the Thermomix TM6 Smart Connected Cooking Appliance. To enter, create your own bake using royal baking powder. Take a pic of your creation with a product and reply to the competition post on our social media pages with hashtag #TheTasteMasterSA. Who will make their way to the top and avoid elimination? Bake more memories with tried and trusted royal baking powder.
Right, now that we're all feeling inspired, Fritz, thank you very much. Really delicious. Time now to let you know what your challenge is for today. Using only the heat from an open fire, we would like for you to make the perfect roosterkoek. And we're giving you 2 hours for today's challenge.
This means making your dough from scratch as well as the accompaniments of your choice.
It's up to you whether you serve us something sweet or savory, as long as all the components are prepared on open fire.
2 hours? That's insane, man. It's not enough.
Today, you'll not only be playing to avoid elimination, you'll also be playing for this.
Ooh, very nice.
This is the Royal Baking Powder Bread Mastery Pin.
I want a little bread pin. I really want that pin today.
The person who earns this will also be walking away with an Everdure Portable Braai by Heston Blumnethal.
Oh my God, yes! Yes!
Ooh. We in for a challenge here.
Now that you know what's at stake, you have 30 minutes, as always, to do your planning. Get going.
I've got so many ideas. It's time to plan. Let's see what I can roosterkoek.
I'm really inspired by how Fritz has made his bread. So when we braai, une chakalaka, une cream salad, there's mealy, there's all of those things. So I'm thinking, okay, incorporate his style with my style, a little bit of fusion culture.
My inspiration today is from braai brokies. Classic braai brokie flavors are cheese, tomato, onion, and a little bit of chutney. So I'm going to try and play with those flavors today and take them to the next level.
My initial thoughts is a bunny chow. It's got a bread element and it's got a curry element, and those are two things that I'm comfortable with.
I really like what Fritz did with his roosterkoek, but I think I'll twist it a bit. I think I'll be using my own recipe with a very, very special ingredient inside.
My husband's Greek. His family cook over open fire all the time. They love to bring in the flavors of the oregano, the lemon, and obviously a big component of that is some kind of bread element.
We're in a wine farm, so why not make a cheese board? I'm just gonna make some fig jam and some caramelized onion jam and hopefully infuse something into the bread just to heighten the sensory experience for them.
Contestants, you have 2 hours to bake the ultimate roosterkoek on open fire.
Remember, this is an elimination challenge, so the pressure is on.
As always, you have a pantry full of goodies available to you throughout the challenge. Are you ready to fire things up?
Yeah!
Your time starts in 3, 2, 1. Get baking!
The coals are hot, it's time to bake. Today I'm gonna make my braai platter home-inspired with the chakalakas and all of that, but let's get that bread going. For my roosterkoek, I'm going to use some of Fritz's ingredients. So he kindly offered us his pulish, and I'm gonna go with the fresh yeast, infusing it though with some pepper dews, just to set myself apart from the other contestants.
You're the first one with something on the fire. That looks great. What's happening there?
I've just got a whole garlic roasting with some olive oil and some salt. I want that to get like nice and soft and hopefully like a butter element to the bread.
I see one dough and I see you working with another dough.
So I'm going to make 2 doughs. I'm going to make a plain one and then I'm going to make a pepper dew one and see which one holds the structures better. I'm just going to use my heart as usual and hope I make it.
Says you being in the elimination challenge.
In the last challenge, I didn't put enough elements on the plate. That's what the judges said. So this time, I'm like, I'm gonna give you a whole chicken. If you say there's not enough, what you mean?
I'm going Greek today. I want to do a Mediterranean platter. Because we have the pulish, I decided that I'm going to use an adaptation of my sourdough recipe and I'm going to incorporate that pulish into my dough.
So you are comfortable with bread making?
I make sourdough bread quite often. I learned it during lockdown. I was here in South Africa and my husband was in England for 9 months. We were apart for 9 months, so I had to keep busy.
Well, they say that baking sourdough bread is almost like having a relationship with your dough. Okay. That's just Megan taking it to a whole new level.
She replaced her husband with the dough.
At least it is so, eh?
Megan, tell us what roosterkoek creation are you actually making?
Okay, so today I was actually thinking of my husband and he is Greek, so I'm going to use a Greek influence today. Like a take on a gyro and then throw in some other elements as well.
Ooh, well, you're playing right down my alley. I'm such a massive fan of Mediterranean style cooking, specifically Greek.
Basically, a gyro, it is a flat bread with tzatziki, hummus, some kind of meat. Lamb is very popular, but I'm thinking I'm going to go with a beef element today.
For my roosterkoek dish, I'll be bringing the coffee shop straight to the farm. I need to start making my bread dough and I'll be putting in my secret ingredient. Shh, don't tell the judges.
I'm picking up a texture there in your dough. What have you added?
I will not be telling you. I will need you to be able to taste it yourself.
You've made this before. You kind of have a plan.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Good
Got
luck.
it out of it.
Yes, eventually.
Putting in chicken breast, your bacon, eggs, but let's see where this takes us.
Today for my roosterkoek, I'm doing a take on a bunny chow. I'm going to do a creamy butter chicken tandoori style. I'm going for my very basic bread dough recipe with this, but I'm going to add a few spices in the end just to add a bit of an edge.
I'm gonna stick to the bread recipe that I use at home. I'm gonna add some sugar to feed the yeast and I'm gonna add some oil. And the dough is easier to work with if you have enough salt.
You look very comfortable working that dough, I gotta tell you.
Yeah.
It's almost therapeutic.
It is mesmerizing. Have you ever made roosterkoek before?
It's my first time making roosterkoek and I'm just gonna try and make it my way.
Jason.
Hello, judges.
I'm picking up that you're using a lot of flour. And just a side note is be careful for using all of that flour because it could tend to fold in. The core of your dough has already been mixed. So working in too much flour now is going to create inconsistencies in that palate. In that bite, you're going to get that flouriness.
Do you bake bread often? Is roosterkoek something that you make often at home?
I've never made roosterkoek before, mostly sourdough and focaccia. So this is kind of new. Right now, I'm very happy with my bread dough. I also added some cumin for a little extra flavor. This needs to rest for 30 minutes. I'm gonna get started on the rest of my fillings. What's up?
This is my chili powder from home.
Can I have some?
Yeah, of course you can.
For the onion element in my dish, I'm gonna caramelize some red onions. I'm gonna add some cumin. And Jay brought a beautiful red chili spice from home. And I'm gonna use some of that today.
Jay, the aromas hanging out around here, it smells like a spice heaven.
Yeah, no, this is my element. I love spice. I love cooking with spice, braaiing with spice. You know, that's just a big part of who I am.
Okay, so naturally roosterkoek with spice. So tell us what you're making.
So today I'm making a take on a bunny chow. So it's going to be a bit of a build a bunny vibe.
Where's the dough?
The dough is in here. It's
Can we
proving.
peek or no?
You may be able to take a quick peep.
Ooh, it's already rising.
So it is rising.
Yeah.
And I see that you've wet the cloth that you're covering your dough with. It is a fantastic call to make with this weather, with the heat, with the wind. That's going to keep that dough moist. Contestants, we are 30 minutes into this challenge. There's an hour and a half left. 2 hours is not a lot of time to complete this challenge. Come on, get focused.
Come on, guys. I hope your dough is rising and you're on your way. Come on, guys. You can do it.
I'm going with a whole chicken today. For the flavors, quick salt and pepper and a few spices just to get that going in before I then brush over with my barbecue sauce. For my barbecue sauce, I've got chipotle seasoning, tomato sauce, treacle sugar, honey. You want that steak dark, just that sweetness forming, and you want that spiciness. I'm just going to baste this chicken throughout the cooking process just to reinforce those flavors.
I'm feeling very confident with this dough. It's a winner. My roosterkoek dough is looking very pretty, just like my girl. But firstly, I need to give it a stretch and give it a second proof back on top of that grill. To bring in a nice creamy element into this dish, I'm gonna make a mushroom sauce, which is gonna work very well with my chicken breast and my bacon, and just give it nice tingles in the mouth.
I start chopping up my chicken pieces and it's onto the first marinade. Lemon juice, salt, pepper, and a bit of curry powder.
I'm making some caramelized onion jam and I'm gonna cook it in the big fire because I need a lot of heat to heat the oil and so the onions caramelize beautifully before I add sugar and balsamic vinegar.
Hot by the fire.
It is. I prefer a pot on the floor than this.
Jay, we've got meat on a stick.
Oh, yes.
Tandoori style? I thought you were doing butter chicken. What's going
So
on?
I'm doing butter chicken, but tandoori style. I like that gnarliness, you know, the charred grill marks. Takes me back to Fordsburg in Joburg, having street food, and this is how it's done. So I'm gonna try and emulate that in my dish today. I'm gonna get this skewered chicken onto a hot braai. It needs to get that dark char, just like the tandoori style, and back into the curry sauce to continue cooking.
I'm gonna make a fig preserve and I'm gonna infuse it with some lemon and cinnamon spice.
Contestants, you have 1 hour to go. We are at the halfway mark. Fritz, what should they be doing now?
They should be shaping their breads now, getting ready for a final proof. And the accompaniments should also kind of like move into the home stretch.
Right, guys, home stretch. Let's go. Tando, you look very frazzled.
Yes,
I see carrots, so chakalaka is on the go.
it is.
What's a braai without the chakalaka? So I've got my chakalaka going, grating my fresh veg, and then in the end, gooi in those baked beans.
You've got an hour to go. Is everything under control?
I hope so. I think so. Yeah.
Are you convincing yourself or me?
Also, a little bit of me as well. I think, yeah, no. Go.
Have you shaped your bread yet? What stage are you at?
I have not shaped my bread. It's not proving as fast as I thought it would.
Up next, after a setback with her dough, will Tandu get done in time and avoid elimination?
check my bread out, it's risen nicely. Now it's ready to shape. I just need to infuse my flavors. So I'm going to infuse my caramelized onion jam and feta cheese, and also have another option just in case the caramelized onion and feta option doesn't work well. I have some rosemary infused bread to save me.
In the Greek culture, their version of a sosati is a souvlaki. And basically all it is like a kebab where we layer meat onto a skewer or some kind of stick.
Loazi, are you our designated braai master today? You're watching the chakalaka, the figs, the meat skewer and your chicken.
I mean, I could save them, but at the end of the day, it's a competition.
My peppers look beautifully charred. Now I need to get on my dip.
You look very rushed off your feet. Is everything going according to plan?
It is so far. I want to get working on my bread, so I'm just trying to get this final pepper sauce sorted, and then I'll get started on my bread to give it a fold over. To make the dip, I cut up those beautifully charred peppers, some olive oil, some honey, some sumac, and the walnuts. This is looking good. Off to the Thermomix to blend. Tasting my dip, it's very sweet. There needs to be some kind of acidity. I remember I did not add the tomato paste. I don't have time, I just have to go with this. I look over, I see Tando, shame. She doesn't look like she's handling the pressure very well. Can I help with anything? You're okay? Okay. Things are a bit manic, it's hot, there's fires everywhere, the sun is shining, the stress is on.
Tando, do we need to take a deep breath?
No, I'm fine now.
Fine? Okay,
Yeah.
well, tell me what's going on. What's got you upset?
I was just worried that my dough wasn't rising. Zola comes to my station and I am in a panic. I grab my bread to check it. I flip it over and it is not bad.
What are we doing?
We're gonna start rolling our. Ooh.
We're outside, Jason.
We're gonna start rolling our dough.
Nice. Well, I'm glad to see.
A lot of wind. I'm trying to be cool like Fritz and sift my flour onto the table, but I forget we're outside and there's a lot of wind.
Cooked to perfection. I'm done with my chicken. Now, it's time to go shape my roosterkoek dough. I know Fritz did it with his hands, but I prefer mine straight on the bench.
Time to get started on my tzatziki. Traditionally, it's some yogurt, some grated cucumber, garlic, and a touch of mint.
That's good.
I'm not too happy with the shape of my bread, but at this point I'm running out of time and I know that I need the maximum cooking time for them on the braai. So I'm going to just leave them as is and get them onto the fire.
For my rump, I want a quick hot fire just to get those gnarly pieces on the outside and nice and rare inside.
Can I leave this here instead of running back?
I am running a whole marathon here between my chicken, my chakalaka, my bread, my step count at the end of this day. Exercise. Tick.
I'm one of the first contestants to have my roosterkoek on the braai. I can see they're rising beautifully, but definitely too big, which is going to be a problem for time.
Contestants, you're in your final 30 minutes. 30 minutes to go. You should all be getting ready to cook your roosterkoek.
Don't you want to lift this up a bit?
No, I'm enjoying this heat.
Pressure's kicking in.
I'm on my last component, which is the most important, I think, is the bread. And I hope it's not doughy inside, but I'm just turning as I go. Sure, my arms are burning up. I'm just feeling the pressure everywhere.
My bread is looking good. Roosterkoek. I'm loving the color.
Looks like I'm back with my team member again from last week. We are braaiing on the big braai stand. I see people on the floor, people stressing to get their breads, and I see some people haven't even gotten their bread started.
Jay and I is the only two that doesn't have our dough on the fire, but I didn't see any space, so we're just gonna make a plan and find another spot.
Contestants, there are only 15 minutes left in this challenge, only 15 minutes.
Now I understand why Fritz was having a bit of a soakie at the fire. I mean, it is hot.
I'm getting things under control here. I'm feeling great, but I need to go fry those eggs real quick.
10 minutes left, guys. Time to start plating. I hope those breads are cooked.
I have roosterkoek braaiing everywhere. I'm running all over the place. It's chaos.
I noticed Jay's bread is burning, Should I flip it or not?
Roaster cooker off the braai stand. Eggs are good. It's time to assemble everything up now. Firstly, I'm spreading my cream cheese, rockets, tomatoes, chicken. Oh no, I forgot my bacon. So let's get that going and then I'll come back for the rest.
My bread is looking good, but I don't know if I have enough time to construct a braai brookie and still toast it and melt the cheese.
Time's running out and I'm really kicking into panic mode.
Time for garnish. And guess what?
Yo, Lwazi's pan falls. Guys, we're running out of time.
It's pressure, it's crazy.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Step away from your stations. Your time is up, everybody. Well done.
Oh, that was the most stressful cook of my life.
Everyone's dishes is looking absolutely amazing, except for one, my partner in crime. I hope he brought in the flavors though, because it is Taste Master.
Coming up, the contestants present their roosterkoek creations to the judges. Who will rise to the occasion? The heat is on with the Tastemaster SA and tried and trusted Royal Baking Powder.
Wow, Jay, this looks amazing. Well done.
Thank you.
It smells incredible. As soon as you opened the pot, all those spices came wafting up at me.
Today I made my take on a butter chicken with sambals, pickled red onion and cucumber raita, which is a bit spicy, so take care. And of course a roosterkoek, which I infused with some cumin and fenugreek leaves. I'm still a bit worried about my roosterkoek. I'm not sure if they will meet the judges' expectations, but this is me on a plate. I've worn my heart on my sleeve today.
That is so tasty. Feels to me like you had extra time to make your roosterkoek, to be honest. Inside's baked to perfection. Look, when you don't get the long fermentation, you can't expect the chewiness. So you expect it to be very short and brittle crumb, and you made it in a way that it's not like that. So in some other way, you defeated the lack of time that you had.
Absolutely delicious. The spice, the warmth, everything is so balanced and it's just, you can't stop eating it.
I am just elated. It's been a tough day. Wow.
Hello, Jason.
Jason, you set out to make a mind-blowing braai brookie today. How did that go?
I think it went well.
You were cutting it fine near the end because I know you said you wanted to toast it again to melt the cheese. I saw you toast for like 5 seconds. Did you think you got enough time?
I'd have liked a bit more time, maybe like 15 seconds more. I'm a bit disappointed in myself that I didn't melt the cheese, but I know the flavors of the fillings are on point, and I hope that pulls me through.
The flavors in this are definitely better than any braai brookie that I've ever eaten. There's tomato salsa. Is really rich in flavor. I would have loved the cheese a little bit more melted. I think that's sort of quintessential braai brookie eating.
One thing that I do want to mention was a quick warning that I gave you during, is when you work your dough, you can work flour into it, and that really affects the texture of the crumb because there's flour in between the layers, dry flour. It's overbaked on the fire, it's definitely burnt outside, and of course the cheese, they didn't get that opportunity to bring all those flavors together.
My cheese, it's unmelted. It's a big no-no when it comes to a braai brookie. I'm worried about this.
I'm proud of what I did today. My beautiful chicken, my culture on the plate. I know the judges are gonna love this one.
Thando, what a feast! My goodness, you said you were bringing a braai experience to us, and boy, did you do that.
I've, of course, made the roosterbrood. I made it pepper dew infused. I think there's some plain ones. Played around with a few of those. I made ichakalaka, because that's how we braai. I made corn on the cob, salad, just a simple green salad, and then I made chipotle spiced barbecue chicken.
The judges break the bread and it looks beautiful. I am so glad I stuck to my guns and I went with the pepper one. It's fluffy, it's soft, it's got the crunchy exterior. I'm really proud of myself.
Tando, you asked my opinion about the infusing of any ingredients into a dough before you're going to bake it on fire. I told you to be careful as it could break up the structure, make it very dense and just, not come off. That was not the case here. It is a delicious component to this meal. I think technically the roosterkoek is spot on.
Oh, thank you.
The spice in that chakalaka, perfect for me. Just tingling in my mouth. Spatchcock chicken, umbila. I mean, just a braai sensation. And the most important part is that you got that roosterkoek perfect.
Yes, I feel good. I'd be proud to go out on a dish like this.
Tell us about your Mediterranean/Middle Eastern feast.
All right, I have the tzatziki, which is the yogurt and the cucumber and garlic. Some pickled onion. The Middle Eastern is more the sweet pepper sauce. And then just some rump steak, which I put on 2 skewers and braai.
Well, I was happy to see that she used the poolish. And I'm interested to see what the effect
How it
would be.
affected, yes.
I see Fritz's reaction when he opens my bread and I start to worry.
The bread is slightly underbaked.
My heart absolutely sings. My roosterkoek seemed cooked.
Definitely underbaked, a little bit doughy and dense, which is a shame. But I love the crust that you got on the outside. That texture was really lovely, especially when you sort of started building the dish.
The flavor of the bread is very good. It's like very, very nice. I was a bit concerned of the sweetness level of the red pepper. I don't know if you had it. Yeah.
I had left the tomato paste out actually by mistake.
Okay, yeah, because that put it out of balance.
Yeah. Shucks, my dip is too sweet. I knew that tomato paste was needed.
The rump for me was an interesting choice because even though a very flavorful meat, can be quite tough if not cooked to absolute perfection.
The flavors, wonderful. It's just a shame that the bread didn't quite go as perfectly as it could have.
I am beyond shattered. I really, really put my heart and soul into this meal, and one roosterkoek that was not cooked properly has let me down.
I've put in a lot of elements into this dish, but I hope they find my secret ingredient. Today, I've decided to bring the coffee shop to the farm. That's my roaster bread. It's got cream cheese spread, bit of gherkins, rocket tomatoes, chicken breast, bacon, and my creamy mushroom with the sunny side up egg. As Fritz cuts open that bread, the egg goes poof. Oh, it's oozing out. I'm happy.
I, for one, am really glad you brought the coffee shop to the farm. So tasty. All the flavors really do go well together. It's sort of like breakfast and lunch mixed into one. We love a brunch vibe. For me, the roosterkoek was actually really tasty. The crustiness on the outside, I think that you managed to actually cook it fully. And actually, the cinnamon touch, strange, but it works.
That's right, Zola. You got it right. My secret ingredient is cinnamon.
That cinnamon roosterkoek is the jam. It is so good. The dish in its entirety, way too much for me. Completely over the top. It's just way too many things to taste at the same time. But I love it. It's abundant. It tells me about you. But that cinnamon twist in the roosterkoek is a winner.
At this point, I'm feeling super confident because there's nothing negative about my dish. I hope I win the pin. And of course, the portable braai stand.
Ngombile, you kept it so classic. I've got to compliment you on your roosterkoek just from the offset, because it's got the different arrays of brown and dark brown and light brown, so it looks very pretty. It feels like I'm in the French countryside again.
And also, you know, we wanted to focus on fire today, and the fact that you grilled your cheese is just such a wonderful extra touch.
Let's dig in.
I'm very confident, Uguti. I'm not going to go home because I know my bread is cooked thoroughly.
Mobile, the smokiness that you somehow got into your roosterkoek is so delicious. It makes the whole cheese board platter all that more interesting. I mean, I love mixing, cheese with a bit of sweet. And that roosterkoek is the perfect carrier. That smoky, charred flavor, not burnt at all. The texture is really lovely. You actually got a lot of air and lightness into your roosterkoek, so well done.
It's interesting that you went very simplistic. However, the challenge of today was roosterkoek. Nice accompaniment dishes that you chose, but the roosterkoek you did so well that it lifted everything.
I'm glad they love my bread. Having someone that great and praised in the bread industry compliment your bread is quite an honor.
Up next, after a long afternoon in the sun, who will be heading home in the elimination? Surviving tonight's elimination will put contestants one step closer to the grand prize, including a Samsung 95-litre 90cm 5-gas burner with a triple flame wok plate, a Thermomix TM6 smart connected cooking appliance, plus Le Creuset baking accessories. Who will earn the title of the Taste Master? Bake more memories with the Taste Master SA and Royal Baking Powder.
Contestants, congratulations for getting through yet another elimination challenge. You guys really rose to the occasion, so give yourselves a huge round of applause.
Today, the challenge was essentially a bread baking challenge. But we upped the challenge by asking you to bake that bread on open fire. In doing so, we asked you to bake a classic South African roosterkoek. And guys, you did so well. I think you understand that it's harder than what you expected to do a baked dish on open fire whilst finishing the rest of the dish at the same time. So I'd like to congratulate you. The winner of today's challenge is also the winner of the Royal Baking Powder Bread Mastery Pin, as well as the winner of a brand new Everdure Portable Braai by Heston Blumnethal in the color of your choice.
I'm thinking, which price stand? Olive, gray, olive. My mom would like the olive, but I would like the gray. Fritz, come with that pin.
When they first tasted my food, I definitely thought that I was in the running for a pin today. But judging from the other contestants' feedback on their roosterkoek itself, I don't think that that's an option for me today.
The winner of today's Mastery Pin is Jay.
No way! Thank you guys, thank you so much.
Congratulations, Jay.
Thank you.
Your dish blew us away. Your roosterkoek was perfect. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, thank
Right,
you.
Jay, pick a color.
I think I'm gonna take this one.
Beautiful choice.
I'm in total disbelief. Another pin? I'm so happy to have this little roosterkoek to add to my collection.
Today I thought it was mine.
Mobile. Tando. Lwazi. Your 3 roosterkoek creations have earned you a spot in the next round. Congratulations.
Megan, Jason, please step forward.
My heart is beating so fast. The fact that my bread is not cooked is a big problem.
I just hope I did enough to pull through.
Megan, your roosterkoek was a chip and a putt away from being absolutely perfect. An underbaked bread, though, is hard on the judging scores. Jason, I felt like by the simplicity of the dish that you created, in essence, that you should have had a bit more time to finish it off properly. And I felt like you didn't utilize your time properly. Unmelted cheese on a braai broodjie is almost inexcusable. The dough itself had its own issues. Jason, unfortunately, you will not be moving forward.
Disappointed in myself that I didn't do enough for today's challenge. Looking back, I've made some really great friends. It's been an amazing experience. I'm gonna keep going and follow me on Instagram.
Megan and the rest of the contestants, we will see you in the next challenge.
Going forward for my next challenge, I really think I need to step it up a bit.
From now on, it's game on.
Next Friday, the top 9 contestants enter the Tastemaster kitchen to face a new challenge. Joining the panel is a very special guest judge and someone close to Fritz's heart. But contestants are in for a surprise with a shocking twist that will leave their jaws on the ground.
Another feel-good production.